Hey, I'm Pat Porter. I'm the broker for RecLand Realty. I'm hurtling down the interstate right here, headed to Texas to work on some deals with one of our with Brandon White, one of our top guys there in Texas. And I get asked almost weekly, either by phone call, email, what's involved in being an agent for RecLand. Are we hiring? What's the process? How do you go about doing it? Things like that. And so I address every one of those questions, answer everybody, take everybody seriously. Spend a lot of time answering that and following up. But I thought this video may be helpful as well to see if RecLand is something that would be a fit for you, and maybe address some of the questions you would have just through the course of my visiting a little bit here. I don't have a script, so I'm going to wander a little bit, but I hope to cover all the major things. RecLand Realty, all we do is land, hunting land, timberland, farms, ranches. It's in our logo. That's who we are. I started RecLand with a partner. He and I are business partners on other levels too, and we've been friends since we were teenagers. He and I own RecLand together. I'm the broker. We're in 6 states: Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, Iowa, and Missouri. The reason we're not in more states is because I don't have people in those other states to be there yet. I don't just go get licensed somewhere with my company without already having some boots on the ground, without having some people that I can build my business around. So we're in 6 states right now because we're not in 7. So if you're a solution for the 7th state, give me a call. Come on. People ask quite often how we do territories. Because we're in 6 states, we've got 30 plus agents. I don't remember the exact number. I don't have territories. I have good sense, but I don't have territories. So what I mean by that is I don't have a roped off piece of geography that an agent is assigned to or restricted to. Don't do that. That's not wise in my opinion. But I have good sense, meaning I don't just pile agents on top of each other if it's going to, all it's going to do is cannibalize each other's business. I don't do that. As far as territories go, if it's an area we absolutely have nobody, it's not an issue. If I've already got people that are close by, I bring them in on my decision. I'm loyal to the core. And if I've got people that have been loyal to me, I'm going to be loyal to them. So if you call me up and you're in Hardin County, Texas, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get Brandon White on the phone and go, hey, Brandon, I'm talking to this guy, this lady. What do you think? And we'll make a decision together, because I'm not going to hurt his business down there by somebody that's close by. Typically, though, new agents bring more to the mix than take away. So we haven't had many issues at all where I've made a decision to pass on someone simply because of geography. But anyway, so as far as territories go, I don't have a circle on a map that says, hey, this is you, this is where you are. Don't do that. I do each one case by case. The process for becoming an agent with RecLand, it'd be like becoming an agent with anybody. You have to have a real estate license in good standing in the state that you live in. And if you don't have one, you got to be willing and able to get one. It's not hard to do. I tell people all the time that getting and maintaining a real estate license is pretty simple. If you got good sense, you got a little bit of dedication where you can commit to the coursework and the process to study and take the test, you're going to get your license. People that don't know anything about real estate, don't let that discourage you, regardless of whether you want to get involved in land like us or any kind of real estate. You can learn all of the things you need to learn. I tell people all the time, I can't teach you how to be a good person, but I can teach you what you need to know about real estate. So I don't look for experience, I look for good people. The process is something that can be taught, learned, understood. Skills can be acquired. You can't teach somebody how to be a good person. You can't teach somebody how to be honest when things are tight and money's on the line and nobody's looking. They got to bring that to the table themselves. So you can simply go to the real estate commission in your respective state. It's easy to Google. and just look up what are the requirements to get a real estate license. It's pretty basic information. As far as the money goes with RecLand, we do things a little bit differently. People sometimes come right out and ask, "Hey Pat, what's your commission split?" Well, I don't answer it that way. There's more to money than the commission. The primary thing that we do at RecLand is RecLand pays for all of the advertising, all of it, every bit of it, even cards, business cards, signs, every bit of advertising, all of the internet that we do, any TV, commercial, radio, billboards, any newspaper advertising, anything that we do advertising, RecLand pays for that. That comes out of our part. The commission split that we have is very good. It's a little bit structured. It starts off at X and goes to Y, but that's usually just based on a little bit of time or a little bit of activity. The minute I sign somebody up as a real estate agent with RecLand, I'm spending my money. You haven't done a deal, you haven't made a dime, but I've already spending money. So I've got a mechanism in place that allows me to not spend too much on people that don't do anything. So we cover all of the expenses that are difficult for new people getting started. Advertising is expensive, and so you don't have that out of pocket. All you really have out of pocket is your license, maintaining your license, and your cell phone, your gas. I mean, you got that anyway. All your business related stuff pretty much going to come out of my pocket the way we do our money. We do the money real simple. I don't have any fees, any hidden costs or expenses that come out of your pocket. When we split money based on our commission structure, it is exactly what it is. There's no, oh, by the way, you owe me $100 for the office, or $20 for copies, or $20 for a FedEx that you did. We don't nickel and dime people at all. You never owe me money. I always pay you money when a deal closes. So we keep the money real simple for a number of reasons. The fact that RecLand, all we do is land. People ask a number of questions related to, well, can I list this? Can I list that? And my answer is always maybe. It just depends. We sell and list and sell a lot of properties that have homes on them. But it's not 131 Elm Street in the middle of a subdivision in downtown Shreveport. That's not what we do. But if it's a house on 17 acres out on Johnson Road somewhere, yeah, we do that. If a rural property, if it's a house that really primarily is a hunting camp or recreational camp, some kind of lodge or retreat or lake house, something like that, we do a number of those. We just listed, and I sent out an alert on our app this morning of a lake house on 3 acres. That's a recreational property. That's not 131 Elm Street in such and such subdivision in Bossier. So it's always, to answer the question, it's always, well, it depends. A lot of times it's just a judgment call. I always lean more toward the agent, what they're thinking and what they want to do, because it's their listing, they need to represent it. And unless it's just clear cut one way or the other for me, I kind of let you guys make that decision. When you call and ask, I'm gonna go, what do you think? How do you feel about it? How do you see the property? And a lot of times you answer your own question, by just running that property through a little process to see, is it really a recreational property? Is it a rural property, or is it just a straight up residential property? So anyway, we do commercial listings. We don't do commercial buildings per se, but we have a lot of listings that come through every year that the best use for that property is a commercial or industrial use. I mean, 6 acres out on such and such road on the edge of town in an industrial complex, that's going to be its best use. We'll still represent that. It's undeveloped land. It just has a higher use as a commercial or industrial use as opposed to a recreational use. So anyway, just because all we do is land, there's still some gray area there that we represent things that are of a commercial nature or have a residence on them. So heck, I'm about to drive through an area right here. I sold a golf course. I mean, it was 53 acres of beautiful rolling ground. It was a 9-hole executive golf course. We sold it to an electric company. They're going to build a facility on it. I mean, there it is, beautiful undeveloped land. I mean, a putting green, a driving range doesn't make it developed, in my opinion. So anyway, I hope that answered that question, if you had that, about what we do. If you want to sell a lot of houses, we're not the company for you. Expectations. Let me address that. There are companies that require you to have a certain amount of cash when you sign up with them so that you can do X amount of advertising, and you're committing to being full-time. I don't require that. What I do require is for a person, when they talk to me and we make a plan, for them to do what they said they were going to do. I've got agents that are full-time. They make their living selling land for RecLand. Every day, all day, that's all they do, 24/7. And I've got other agents who'll do one deal a year, 2 deals a year, a handful of deals, and then everything in between. So as long as you're doing what you said you were going to do, I don't care. Because I make plans with our advertising and mail outs and certain billboards and things like that to drive business for RecLand, to get listings. And I do that based on where people are. And so if you tell me you're going to be wide open full time, man, you're going to be 40 hours, 60 hours a week doing land, and I invest money in mail outs and billboard, do stuff to drive listings your way, and yet you're really not going at it full time, I've misspent money and I've wasted resources. So just tell me how you're going to do it. I'll adjust how I do my business accordingly, and it'll work just fine. Another thing is how we do the process, how we do listings, how we handle our agents being a long way away. I got guys as far as Missouri and Iowa, and our base is in North Louisiana and Monroe. Well, we live in the internet age. You probably have a smartphone. You're watching a video, for heaven's sake. So if you've got a cell phone, email, text, a computer, and either a scanner or the ability to scan, we're in business. Everything that we do, just about with every agent, is electronic. I have a few guys that bring hard copy paperwork to the office because they're just close enough to do it. But basically, every picture you take, every listing agreement you do, every sales contract you write up can be sent to the Monroe office electronically, and we handle it that way. You get a listing, you send in the pictures, the paperwork, the write-up, the map information, and all that stuff. Of course, we would explain once we got down that road. You just email all that to the office. You post it online in a Dropbox or something like that, however we choose to do it. And then the office takes it from there. You don't input any listings. We do all that. We manage the whole master paperwork file on our end. And we do that for several reasons. Number one, remember I said I control all the advertising. Pay for it all, so I'm going to control it all. That means we're going to put logos on stuff. It's going to be the same brand name, the same color, the same font size. It's all going to be consistent, and I do that in-house where we are. And I push all the advertising out from one place so that we don't end up with 35 amateur graphic artists designing their own ads. We do it all internally and push it out. And that makes it a lot simpler on you. You just sign up the listing, you get it to us, you're done. You go and get the next listing or go sell the next property. We handle all the social media on our end. So you get the stuff to us, we push it out from one place. It gets done too. Because I know if I get it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it consistently over and over and over and over again. And if I have to rely on 35 people with 35 different timetables and situations in life, certain things may or may not get done. I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just the reality of it. But I know that if I get it into my little machine at the office that we run there, it gets pushed. That machine's going to push it out. And it works well that way. So also too, I map every single listing that we get. Every single listing RecLand has ever had from that first day back in 2010, I personally mapped it. I haven't been to most of these listings. I haven't seen most of them, but I personally mapped them. I personally edited every photo, because that gives me a connection to that property. So when you call and talk to me about that 69 acres out on County Road 47, in Ford County, Texas, I haven't been to it, but I understand it a little bit. I've done the math. I can see it in my mind. What's the next step? Well, I'll sum it up by saying this. If you're truly interested in being an agent with RecLand, do a little bit of research about who we are. You're already this far in. You may have already done a lot of research. Well, go to our website, recland.net. That's one of our sites. Go to our video blog. It's reclandtalks.com. Go to our social media pages. We've got 4 or 5 Facebook pages. We've got 4 or 5 Twitter accounts, an Instagram account. Everything is RecLand something. Go check us out and get a flavor of just who we are. We sell real estate, yes. We sell land, that's what we do. But we're also tied into the outdoor industry. We've got a great relationship with Duck Commander and Buck Commander. We're tied into some outdoor products, some gear. These are all secondary to RecLand, the land selling company, but they're all there to drive the overall brand. We're committed to the outdoor lifestyle, all of us in our own unique different ways. And if you'll just do a little investigation, you'll see that in everything that we do. You'll either be drawn into it more, where you go, hey, those are my kind of people, that's what I like, or you'll go, no, that's not for me. Because we make it abundantly clear who we are, who RecLand is, what we do, how we go about doing it. So check us out, and then follow up. If this gets you interested, if you get to second base in your interest and in your thinking on this, give me a call, send up a smoke signal, a flare, something, email, call. Let's take the discussion to a personal level where I can get to know you. Most of the time, I'll set up a visit where I can come see you, and we'll sit down, drink a cup of coffee, eat a sandwich, talk face to face, and usually leave that meeting with a real clear understanding of, do we go forward or does this not work? So that's as simple as I know how to make it, folks. I probably said more than I needed to say for some of you, but I wanted to be as thorough as I could in this video, just to answer some of your questions up front, to draw some of you into the process more, or to at least make it clear enough you go, nah, that doesn't work for me. I'm gonna go to Century 21. So okay, knock yourself out. But no, I wanted to give you a flavor of really who we are and how we do things, to see if you're truly interested. And if you are, I am looking for people. My partner and I, we are aggressive as it gets. We want good people that we can hang our business around and grow into new areas, and maybe create some opportunities for you and other people in areas that you'll look back on one day and go, gosh, I'm glad I did that. So anyway, check us out, give us a call, let's make it happen. Bye-bye.